I actually don't think we live in reality. Congratulations, Caitlin Clark, for your Rookie of the Year award. But, like, you know, they couldn't just give you the Rookie of the Year award. First of all, every other player is going to be able to accept their award. They decided to just announce all the awards at the same time. Except for they leaked it. They literally leaked the award. We have seen, I'm going to talk about this in, like, multiple videos today. But, like, we've seen them doing everything they can to make sure as hell that no one even knows Caitlin Clark has won Rookie of the Year. Like, I did not actually know that Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year. And I'm not joking. Like, I was kind of at home looking at my phone. I did not know Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year. Why? Because, let's read this post. And this is what I will call the most unhinged post ever. And this is coming from the person who claimed the de-escalation committee joke was a race one? Which I'm like, no, it was a funny joke. I'm sorry. Can you not just be a funny joke? This is the most unhinged thing I've ever read. A message I just received from a long-time Chicago fan. And by the way, this is a riding sports. You're not riding sports. I'm just putting this out there right now. I can guarantee you're not riding sports. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. And if I'm proven wrong, I'll apologize. But I've told her about her experience of Fever CC fan season. They brought a level of vitriol and entitlement that was so unpleasant and distressing to witness that completely changed the atmosphere. What does that mean? This was little kids. We watched the game. There were little kids everywhere. Like Caitlin Clark. It was Barbie night. There were little kids everywhere getting Caitlin Clark to sign her Barbie thing. It was little kids. It was like 80% little kids. It was like 80% little kids. Like, I'm sorry. We're watching these games. How unhinged you have to be to realize the vast majority of people, especially during the regular season at Fever games, were kids and parents bringing their kids, especially young girls, because a lot of dads were excited that their young girls were into sports and were going to games with them. And that was a huge percentage of the Fever fans. Let's be honest. No one has ever said anything bad about a Fever fan. Heck, even like, what's her name is like talking up, like, what's her name? Satu Sabli has said how great the fans are. Cheryl Reeve even talked about like the effect on fans, like how many fans Caitlin Clark is bringing. Like, no one has ever complained about fans in person. But let's read this. Thank you for your article on the atmosphere at the Fever Sun playoff game. And by the way, the person with the nails probably should have been kicked out, or at least probably like maybe not kicked out. But I will say, like, being told to take off the shirt. Been told to take off shirt and take off the nails. I think that is justifiable. But like someone randomly just goes, well, I felt scared because I saw somebody wearing a MAGA hat. And someone actually in my comments, I don't know how true this is, because again, this is as true as someone just randomly saying I saw someone in a MAGA hat. Somebody in my comment section said, hey, I was the parent of the son who was wearing a red hat with an American flag on it. He was getting, he had to take it off because people around him were throwing insults at him for wearing a hat. He was like, I can confirm it was not a MAGA hat. Like, again, I don't know how true that is. That was a comment I read, but at the same time, that has as much evidence as the person who showed the picture of the nails thing. And again, it's one fan out of, a couple of thousand people there? Like, we're talking about 0.1%. If we're talking about 0.1% as a problem, then I don't know what's going on. But as saying goes, we're careful what we wish for. We've always felt great camaraderie amongst fans. Many of our fellow season ticket holders ended up selling the tickets for ridiculous prices. The result was that we were surrounded by Indiana, specifically Caitlin Clark fans, who brought a level of vitriol and entitlement that was so unpleasant to witness. It was completely changed the atmosphere. As older white straight people, my husband I did not feel personally threatened. I was so sick to think about the impact of this fan base. What do you mean? What did these kids do? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If a bunch of kids, and by the way, we've seen these crowds. Like, there are kids of all backgrounds, all ages, everything. Like, and that's the thing. Sport is the big uniter. I'm sorry, if you feel scared because a person is of a certain background sitting beside you, it doesn't matter who you are a racist. Like, that's the reality of it is. Like, if you feel scared purely because of the background of a person. Like, we talk about this, but that is just the reality of the situation. But by the way, people were selling tickets. Why not blame them for selling tickets? And so on. Share years of fun, not to mention the horrible impact on Sky players. What do you mean the horrible impact on Sky players? That was the game. Caitlin dropped 31 points and they tried to hurt her. I'm actually glad the Sky didn't make the playoffs. The intensified competitive atmosphere would have heightened, as was your experience. They would have played the Liberty. So you didn't want the Sky to make the playoffs because, you know, people care about this. People, like, fans get rowdy. I'm sorry, I'm a Leeds United fan. I am a Leeds United fan, and like, if you talk like we are on the low end, I want these people. I want these people to go to Greece and go to watch Istanbul versus, or not Istanbul, Jesus. Go and watch Olympiacos versus Panathinaikos. Go to Serbia. Probably not go to Serbia unless you're with a Serbian. I definitely would not go to Serbia as an American to watch the Serbian derby. Heck, even go to Scotland, Celtic and Rangers. This is the kiddie table. And not only kiddie table, it's like nothing. It's nothing. It's just you basically said fans get hyped for the playoffs, so I don't want them. I'm actually guys got to make the playoffs. I'm very sorry you and your partner had the experience you're writing about. What do you mean the experience? You saw somebody wearing a t-shirt that said ban nails with nails. What are we talking? What world do we live in? I'm sorry, what world do we live in? That is such an issue that you feel unsafe. I'm sorry. We don't know what that person is. I'm like, look, again, I always say this, like, I'm Irish. I have no idea what's going on in America. Like, I have no idea. For me, there is like long nails is not associated with a certain group of people. I don't think I could be wrong. I could be. And just like with that one there, again, we don't know the motive of the fan. The fan could have been completely out of line. I don't know. I'm not like, again, I'm not aware enough to know that type of stuff. And I'll admit it. Like if the fan should have still been, if it made anybody uncomfortable, then the fan should have been told to take off what they were wearing. Realistically, that's just how the way the world works. Not the way the world should work. If you're making someone comfortable, just be sound, take it off, and enjoy the game. But the reality is like horrible experience. I'm sorry, does this person leave the house? And not only that, you have platformed person basically saying that the mostly kids made people feel unsafe and the players feel unsafe. This is mostly kids. We saw the Barbie night. No one talked about this at the time. You just made this crap up, and I would not be surprised, by the way, if this is a complete troll. If a troll said this for this person to share it, I would not be surprised. And the worst part about this is that all of this is happening because Caitlin Clark won Rookie of the Year. They don't want anyone to know that. Because no one's talking about the Sky locker room when players are bawling, crying about social media. But you know what? They're trying to ruin Erica Wheeler's life because she says, I don't go. She goes, I don't go on social media. But at the same time, look, they're trying to screw them because there's nothing to talk about. And by the way, I've said this, in the 48 hours since the Stephanie White speech, and this person as well, I don't think has talked about basketball since then. And again, I will always say this, is that I'm not a fan of Natalie Esquire, but I will always say that when it comes to talking about basketball, whenever she is behind the mic talking about basketball, she talks about basketball. So I've got no issue with that. Like, you can do and say whatever you want, but like when you're there to talk about basketball. And which she does. So in the last 48 hours since his speech, not one word of basketball has been spoken in WNBA circles. The WNBA media are supposed to grow the game and have literally ignored Fee having won the greatest playoff series of all time. They've ignored Fee having won the greatest playoff series of all time. They've ignored Fee winning Defensive Player of the Year. They've ignored Caitlin Clark winning Rookie of the Year. They've ignored everything. Because, heck, they've ignored Dejanay winning Most Improved. You know what is actually not even a big deal? That Aja Wilson's just won her third MVP. That she just won her first unanimous MVP. Because the reality is that this is, like, they don't care about basketball, most of these people. Caitlin Clark just won Rookie of the Year, and the WNBA media, the legacy WNBA media, don't care. The reality is it's bullshit. Let's stop it right there. Congratulations, Caitlin Clark, for winning Rookie of the Year. We all know she was going to win Rookie of the Year anyway. It's not going to be unanimous. I'm going to make videos talking about people to vote for Angel Reese. But the reality of this situation is, you got to just say, you got to say it. No matter how bad some of the stuff is, you got to say congratulations to Caitlin Clark for maybe the best rookie season of all time.